Hello, everybody, and welcome to From the Mezzanine, the Broadway podcast for the Broadway fans. I am your host, Lindsay Stone, and thank you for joining me for this amazing episode of From the Mezzanine. I am so excited, you guys, because I have quite a lot in store for this episode. We are talking Broadway news of the week. One story we're really going to have to get into, and I might cry. I have very mixed feelings about it. I am bringing you an interview with Genevieve Hannelius, who is currently starring in Shit Meat Fan, Off-Broadway at the MCC Theater. Oh, wow. I feel like I say this every time I have an interview, which, by the way, can we talk about Talia last week? But one track mind, Lindsay. Come on, let's go. Okay, so every single time I interview or meet somebody new in the Broadway stratosphere, I am always saying, wow. What an amazing person. This person was so nice. This person was so incredible. They're my new obsession. I knew I loved them before, but now I love them even more. And Genevieve was such a pleasant surprise. You guys likely know her from Dog with a Blog on Disney Channel. I obviously grew up watching her. She's around my age, a little younger. I'm, being generous with myself here. And so it was always cool to see her on Disney Channel, somebody your age. And she was so cute in her Disney Channel years. Well, Queenie from Dog with a Blog is now in an off-Broadway show, starring alongside the likes of Debra Messing, Jane Krakowski, Neil Patrick Harris, and Genevieve Hannelius certainly holds her own in this show. But I feel like we just need to catch up. Also, I was thinking, maybe we do a little, hi, my name is Lindsay. Here's some things about me, a little introduction, because I've got some new listeners. Hello, new Broadway besties, new FTM listeners. Thank you for being here. First of all, you must be so cool, so sound of mind, so incredible, the biggest Broadway fan out there if you're listening to this podcast, and I truly just am so happy you're here. My name is Lindsay. I'm originally from Texas, from Waco, Texas, to be specific. I moved to New York over a year ago, almost at a year and a half mark. And I've loved it. Since moving to New York, I have accomplished more of my goals than I can even fathom. Your girlie went to the Tony Awards for press this past summer, and that was just like dream goal achieved. So cool. But here on From the Mezzanine, we talk to some of my favorite Broadway stars. A lot of times it is the people that we know and love from, say, TikTok. Is that a hint? I'm pausing for dramatic effect. Could that be a hint? Lindsay, why am I obsessed with hints? I'm doing way too many hints. But we talk about so many Broadway stars that we absolutely adore. Last week's episode with Talia Suskauer, what an honor, what an icon, what a queen. I absolutely adored speaking with her, and I'm being so sincere right now. What she is about to do in Parade is honestly like a service to our country. And I know that sounds dramatic, but it is so true. This show is so relevant. It is so difficult. She is taking on quite a task, and I applaud and commend her for it. And she is just an outstanding actress, and I cannot wait to see her in action in Parade as Lucille Frank. So I hope you all enjoyed the interview from last week. It was so fun because she gave us so much insight to Wicked. We talked at length about Wicked because y'all know your girl is obsessed with Wicked. Few things about me for the new listeners. My favorite musicals of all time are Wicked, Moulin Rouge, The Outsiders. I'm like, I wish I could poll the audience. Guys, what else do I talk about all the time? The last 5 years, for sure. I loved Sweeney Todd. I loved Gutenberg from last season with Andrew Rannells and Josh Gad, which, by the way, can we talk about? I feel like it should have been a segment. Well, maybe it will be whenever I talk about Heidi Klum's Halloween party that I attended last week. Okay, but I feel like we should chat about some of the Broadway stars' Halloween costumes. First of all, Josh Gad dressing up as Abby Lee Miller from Dance Moms. That was hilarious. I loved that. I watched it twice before even realizing it was Josh Gad. And when I realized it was him, I was like, you're kidding me. That was so funny. Somebody else who had a great one was Mackenzie Kurtz. She did the Angela Lansbury. Oh, Mr. Todd, I'm so happy. I could eat you up. I really could. You know what I'd like to do, Mr. Todd? And she looked amazing. And she always stunts on Halloween, always. Who else had a great costume? Nothing else comes to mind, but we'll get to it. Well, actually, let's go ahead and chat about it. Why do I already feel like I'm all over the place? Am I all over the place? It's fine. So, you guys, I attended Heidi Klum's Halloween party last week. And let me tell y'all the full story. So it was not with From the Mezzanine. I wish it was. Y'all were messaging me like, girly, how did you get an invite? And I'm like, I was the happiest +1 on planet Earth. But once I got there and the Broadway stars started trickling in, that is when your girl hit the floor. I literally leaned up against the wall and I was like, I can't do this. I can't do this. I'm freaking out. So basically, we found out, me and my dear friend Bailey, shout out, she is just the coolest and she gets invites to these parties because obviously she's an icon. And so we got the invite the day before the Heidi Klum Halloween party. And if you don't know, Heidi Klum throws the party of parties every Halloween. Her Halloween party is like the Halloween party. And we were so excited when that email came through. And when she said, girly, I'm taking you, I said, you're kidding. You're actually kidding. There's literally no way. But she is a woman of her word. And I said, okay, bet. I am getting my costume together as we speak. And the real ones know I recycled my Tony Awards dress because it was perfect for the Audrey Hepburn look. So I did full Audrey Hepburn. I ordered it from Amazon, super easy. Was there the next day. And we arrived at the party. What's your name? Lindsay Stone. You're on the list. You can go in. That was the vibe. It was so cool. Walked past the red carpet and everything. Wow. And let me tell you, the imposter syndrome was so real. We were like, there's no way we're actually going in. Meanwhile, we got the invite. We're headed in. It was crazy. So the first person I see when I go into the party is Charli D'Amelio. Which Charli D'Amelio had her big Broadway debut recently, and it's just been all over the place, all over TikTok, a big, big, big deal. And she was the first star I saw. I was like, I'm at this elite star party. I can't be going up to all of these stars and fangirling, right? But I asked my friend, I was like, do you think I should go talk to her? Make an introduction? And she was like, yeah, totally. I'm really giving all the tea. So I was like, okay, if not now, when? I might as well go chat with her. So I go up to her and she was in the Black Swan, the ballerina movie, the scary ballerina movie with Natalie Portman. Very good movie. She was dressed like her and she looked amazing. I go up to her and I'm like, hi, Charli, congratulations on making your Broadway debut. And she was like, oh, thank you. She was so sweet. She was exactly what I figured. I've watched the D'Amelio show a couple of times, so I kind of had an idea of what her personality would be like. A little reserved, but very sweet. And she's just, oh, thank you so much. I said, get this, you guys. I said, I'm kind of in the Broadway world, you could say. She's like, oh, really? And I was like, yeah, I have a Broadway podcast. And she was like, oh, cool. And I was like, and we're just all so excited and proud of you for making your Broadway debut. And she was like, thanks. That was all she would say was oh, thanks. Oh, thanks. Oh, thanks. And so I was like, all right, I can see I'm not going to be able to keep up a conversation with Miss D'Amelio. So I walked away, but I was like, still cool. Not me telling Charli D'Amelio, I have a Broadway podcast. But I took my opportunity. I was like, I gotta just try. But that was really cool. And then the night really got started when Little Miss Sunset Boulevard walked in, you guys. Okay, so basically, I was having a ball. And then I walk into the main room after running around. And on the chair, in all of her Sunset Boulevard glory, still wearing the damn dress she performs in, the black dress, the iconic black dress that so many people wore for their Halloween costumes. Cough, cough, Rachel Zegler, another iconic Halloween costume of Broadway. And still having the blood on her face and her neck. Go look at the photo, you guys. It's on my Instagram. Picture it didn't happen. This actually happened. I know. I feel like I'm telling a tall tale. All day when I was telling people, I might be going to Heidi Klum's Halloween party tonight. Like, I felt like I was the biggest liar. I was like, I wouldn't believe me. This is unbelievable. Well, believe it. All right. It happened. So she's sitting there. And then I see these men in gold. I just see a gold wave crash over me. All of these men in brown wigs, sunglasses, and gold bodysuits. I'm like, that's Tom Francis. That is King Sunset Boulevard himself. That is Tom Francis and Nicole Scherzinger at the same party I am at. I literally hid in a corner, back against the wall, and like, you can ask Bailey. I actually did this. I like deep breath. I was like, keep your freaking cool, Lindsay. You've been so good all night around all these celebrities. Like, no big deal. I'm dancing with Ali and AJ on the dance floor. Yeah, cutting a rug. No biggie. And then Nicole Scherzinger and Tom Francis, I catch eyes with them and I'm like, done for. Wow. Somebody goes up to Nicole Scherzinger and I could tell they were fangirling and they get a photo with her. And I'm like, if not now, when? I have to take my chance. So I tell my friend, I'm like, do you think that I should mosey on over there? Have a little chat with Queen Nicole? And she's like, yes, of course. Just want to say thank you, Bailey. 1, for the invite, and 2, for letting me fangirl. We all knew it would be good for the pod afterwards, so here we are. I go up to Nicole. Nicest woman literally I've ever met, especially at a party when all she probably wants to do is hang out with her friends and dance and have a good time. I went up to her and I said, if I can remember correctly, and maybe I'll add a video or the video because I made my friend take a video of me talking to her because I'm psychotic. I said, what you're doing in Sunset Boulevard, I fully pretended I had already seen the show. Sunset Boulevard, hit me up. I need to see the dang show. I just haven't gotten tickets yet. Anyways, because I haven't seen the show, but I kind of made it sound like I did. But I've also read all the reviews. I know what people are saying. So I said, what you're doing in Sunset Boulevard right now is so revolutionary. I think you're so incredible. I can't wait for when Tony season comes around. I'm rooting for you. I don't remember what else I said. And she just was like smiling and she was talking. I cannot remember what she said, but she wasn't doing like the, okay, thanks. Like she was really like, oh yeah. Like, I don't know, like actually keeping a conversation. Then she says, do you want a photo? I'm like, if you wouldn't mind, Nicole, you know what? I would. Nicole Scherzinger asked me for a photo. No, I'm kidding. And then I say, oh, she goes, you know, that's Tom Francis over there, because people weren't recognizing Tom Francis. He's unrecognizable. He's a Broadway person, but your girl knew exactly who he was. I said, that's Tom Francis. I hadn't known. Thank you for alerting me. And she says, yeah, Tom, come over here, Tom. She didn't say it like that. Why do I make her sound like a psycho? No, she's like, hey, Tom, come on over. Loosen up my buttons, right? She did say that. Anyways, okay, Tom comes over. I say the exact same thing to Tom. I think you're doing so good. I wanted so badly to be like, I reenacted Sunset Boulevard in Schubert Alley because of you. Didn't do that. Kept my cool, you guys. And then I got a photo with Tom Francis. Insert photo if you're watching on YouTube. And then for the rest of the night, we danced with their whole crew. I kid you not. I kid you not. We left for a minute. We came back out. They were gone. We decided, nah, the party's lightening up. It's time to go. Once the men were gone, we were gone. But it was so freaking cool. I kid you not. I hope everybody's seen my TikTok of them doing the, do you remember the 21st night of September. So Tom Francis and two other guys, they were dressed up as the Bee Gees, and they had a choreographed dance, as every Broadway man should when you come to a party. They were going 5, 6, 7, 8, 2, 2, 2, 2, and hitting their marks. And it was amazing to witness. Like, seriously, guys, I've never been so on cloud nine. Honestly, I haven't. It was an amazing party. It was so awesome. It's exactly what you think it would be like, except honestly, like, it wasn't tame, but like my mom was like, did you feel safe? And I was like, yeah, it was great. I had an amazing time. So anyways, it was the best time ever. What an incredible surprise. I still can't believe it happened. It felt like a fever dream. While we were there, I was literally like, Bailey, everything that is happening feels like it's not real. This is too good to be true. And it was the best night of my life. And I'm so happy it occurred. So there's the Heidi Klum party recap. I know you guys were waiting for that. I actually was planning on doing only an interview this week. But y'all were commenting like, can't wait to hear what went down at Heidi Klum's party. So I was like, I have to talk to them about it. So there you have it. Next, we're going to talk about Ragtime because I saw that over the weekend. So this is a very highly anticipated City Center production, primarily because one, Ragtime is an incredibly well-known production. I never saw it before, ever. And I don't know how. I knew some of the songs. And we will ride on the wheel of a dream. When that came on, I was like, oh, I always thought that was like a church hymn or something, but no, it's from Ragtime. And the story was really, really beautiful. Probably about through the first 5 songs, I was starting to have an itch being like, is this the best musical I've ever seen in my whole entire life? Can't be. That'd be crazy. But I did. But it went away. It's not the best musical I've ever seen in my entire life, but I really loved the opening number and I really loved like the first 30 minutes, but I loved the whole show. Don't get me wrong. I really loved it. It was a beautiful, beautiful production and this cast was amazing. I just once it started, I was like, hold on a second. Oh my God, I'm freaking out. This is really effing good. And then as it went on, why do you always have to be so critical, Lindsay? What is wrong with you? It was amazing, you guys. It's just not one of the best shows I've ever seen in my entire life, but I loved it. Don't worry. Okay. In the cast, we have Joshua Henry. We have Ben Levi Ross. We have Brandon Uranowitz. We have the girl who just left The Wiz as Dorothy. We have Cassie Levy. It is a stacked cast. We have a lot of adorable children who are just so primed for Broadway, so incredibly talented. Is it Levy or Levy? I think it's Levy. We have Shayna Taub. It was an amazing cast, and I truly loved this show at the City Center. And hopefully you know what Ragtime is, because I've been feeling very dumb when so many people I have on the podcast are like, oh, my favorite musical, Ragtime. And I'm always like, yeah. Meanwhile, I'm like, I don't know what that is. Can y'all tell when somebody says something and I don't know what it is? Go in the comments and tell me. Like when somebody mentions a musical and I'm just like, oh, yeah, okay. And I have no idea what they're talking about. Anyways, so Ragtime, amazing. Loved it. Can't wait for the rest of the City Center productions. Urinetown is coming. That has Taron Killam in it. And I love him. And the woman from The Greatest Show. I can't remember it right now, but I know you guys are screaming it at me. The woman who plays the bearded woman. I know her name. I just cannot think of it right now. Isn't that awesome when your brain does that to you? But yeah, I really love that show. Happy to say that. And moving on to a really important moment in the podcast, the Shit Meat fan recap, which we really do talk about in the interview. So I will leave it mainly to the interview. But at a glance, I freaking love this show. I mentioned who was in the cast earlier. You gotta see it. If you can get tickets, you gotta see it. It runs until the beginning of December. And it blew my freaking mind. It was a very good play. I know I said I was done with plays, you guys. I know I said it. But I didn't write it in stone. I did not. And so I saw Ship Me Fan, and I am freaking glad that I did. And actually, I think without further ado, we should go ahead and get into the interview with Miss Genevieve Hannelius. I will be doing all of the Broadway news and the Broadway Grosses following the interview. So stay tuned to the end of the interview for that, because like I said, I need to talk about a certain news story and figure out my feelings because I don't know how to feel about it. And this interview is actually being done from the mezzanine of the MCC Theater, which is my favorite way to do an interview. From the mezzanine, of course. So here is Genevieve Hannelius, who stars as Sam in Shit Meat Fan at MCC Theater. Take it away. Hi, everybody. I am from the mezzanine of the MCC Theater with Miss Genevieve Hannelius. How are you?
I'm great. How are you doing?
So good, because I just saw this little show. This show that, when I say unhinged,
Right.
Shit Meat Fan, you guys.
Shit hits the fan. Let's just say that.
I was like, they're not kidding.
No, not false advertisement.
Absolutely not. For the listeners at home, can you explain what this show is about at a glance?
Yes. This show is about a group of friends that come over for a cocktail party for an eclipse viewing.
Yes.
And they all decide to play this game where they put their phones on the table and they have to read every text, phone call.
Answer every phone call that comes through.
Email, anything that they get on their phone, they have to read it out loud and share it with the group. And so many secrets are unveiled. Let's just say that.
You know, when you're growing up and you look at adults and you're like, oh, their lives are perfect. They're these beings that just have it all figured out. In this show, it really like draws back the curtain of that. And it's like, no, everybody is highly dysfunctional.
Right.
And it was so crazy. And I loved it. It was thoroughly entertaining. And your character, you play Sam. Tell us about Sam.
Yeah, so I am the daughter of Eve and Roger, Jane Kowski, and Neil Patrick Harris.
Clearly. I mean, I can see it in the DNA. Can you imagine them being your parents?
That would be incredible. One can only dream.
That would be amazing.
Yeah, but Sam is kind of... Well, she lives in a world where she's kind of the beginning and the ending, sort of like the bookends of the show. And she is a feisty little teenager who just wants to be seen as an adult, which I think we can all remember those days arguing with our moms.
Yeah, highly relatable.
I've had a lot of those fights myself. And she wants to go out for the night. And so it's kind of, we start the show with this mother-daughter bickering argument that is very fun to play every night.
So very fun. So tell me about your relationship with Eve, your mom in the show, played by Jane Kowski, as we mentioned. Tell me about y'all's relationship. And by the way, Sam does have some secrets of her own. So tell us a little bit about your character development and the relationships with the other cast members.
Yeah, so she and Eve are butting heads because it's sort of that age, you know, you're 17, you think you know everything, you want to be an adult. And I think I'm about to leave for college in the fall. So I think there's just a lot of tension in the house, and you kind of, I've had that happen with my mom where it's like you almost both become like teenagers. Yeah. You sort of like regress in 100%. These arguments. And so I think we're fighting through that. And then there's a really nice moment at the end where you see them all kind of come together as a family. And like, that's what I remember, little outbursts with your mom. And then it's like, at the end of the day, you're still family.
Yeah, you're like, wait, I just remembered I love you.
Right.
Yeah. That was it really was a nice bookend. Like, we really got to, like, you opened the show with a bang with this big fight. And I really so do not want to give anything away, because from the moment this show starts, you're like, oh, we're in this world where literally anything can happen. Anything you think won't happen does happen. The relationships are so deeply intertwined. And that is the beauty of plays these days. They take you places that you like. I am a musical girly at heart, but when you break out into song every so often, the dialogue is like, it has to be pulled back. This is heavy on the drama, and it just takes you through so many twists and turns.
It's a roller coaster ride. Yeah.
Without a doubt. And I thoroughly loved it. So when did you first hear about this show?
I first heard about this show over the summer. Yeah, this summer. And read the script, got to audition for it. I did an audition on tape, and then I came in to MCC Theater to do a reading with Robert, the director, and playwright. And yeah, when I read the script, I was just like, wow, like this is unlike anything I've ever read before. And I think he just does a really beautiful job of like creating this show that is like cloaked as a comedy, but it really is dealing with a lot of issues that I think we all face as a society and just as a culture living in a world of technology and social media. And yeah, I found it to be really, really poignant. Yeah, as a piece.
Was there did you know who the cast was going to be at that time, at that reading?
No, and I didn't even know when I booked the job.
Yeah.
A couple weeks later, I had no clue who was in the cast. And then it was this incredible reveal where I was like, I can't believe I'm going to get to work with such talented actors. And
wow. I feel like that goes to show your intentions. You read the script. You were like, yes, this is going to be my big soiree into theater and into performing on a stage. Is it your Off-Broadway debut?
This is my first play I've ever done. Yeah.
Round of applause. I cannot believe you hit the jackpot. That is so incredible.
Yeah, I feel very lucky.
Oh my God. What made you decide to try out the stage? Was it the move to New York? Or?
I've always been wanting to do theater. I came out here from LA. I was like growing up doing a lot of child acting stuff. And then I came out here to go to college at Sarah Lawrence. And then I graduated 4 years ago at this point. And I've been living out here, and it was like a real goal to do theater, but it's really hard to break into it coming from like a film and TV world.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Why?
It is. I think that just like, I mean, this is a really tough job, doing live theater. Not to say that film and TV isn't, but it's just its own world. And I think that
100%.
You sort of need to prove yourself to the different casting directors and the different, people that are putting on theater shows. It's its own universe. And so it was, I'm coming in from doing Disney stuff. It's like, I think I felt like I had a lot to prove. And so.
Wow. Yeah. That's such an authentic approach too, because from my POV, everybody knows you. My listeners, we grew up with you. We love you. And so I would think Genevieve walks in like she's got it, especially a role such as this where Sam, it just feels like you fit, like a puzzle piece. It fits perfectly.
Yeah, that's what I
So
feel too.
I feel like I'm sure it was hard, and I'm sure you worked your butt off, and I feel so proud of you to be here doing this with this insane cast. Like, congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah. So how have you been feeling doing theater? Do you want to stay? Do you want to do more? Will we see more of you out here?
If all the stars align, I would love to keep doing more theater.
Okay.
I just like coming out every night and having a different audience and a different energy is just like, it's the best feeling in the world. I just feel like I've now had like a little bite and I'm just like, I want to keep doing this. I'm hungry. I want more.
Of course.
So I would love to keep doing this. We're doing this till December 15th.
Extended.
Extended
so
run.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Not surprised it's been sold out. It is the hardest ticket to get.
Yeah, I know. We were shocked because it sold out.
Weren't.
We were.
No, there's no way.
We were in rehearsals and it was sold out. We hadn't even started rehearsing yet.
Oh my
God.
God.
We were like, people don't even know. We don't even know if this is going to be good. So
it quite literally did not matter. We were talking about it on the podcast right when the cast was announced.
Oh, really?
And me and everybody were like, this is the play. Like, we cannot wait. Before anybody had even seen it, like, once you just see this cast, the title itself just grabs your attention. Ship, meet, fan. You're like, I'm ready for that.
Right.
Yeah. So, yeah, not surprised at all that it's been so successful. How has that audience reception felt?
It's felt so good. It was also such a learning experience. We're still in previews right now, but to have, because we were in a rehearsal space for so long working on it, and then we didn't know where the laughter was going to be, because there are moments, I think, that you probably experienced where it's like, should I be laughing right now?
There were moments where I was like, I would catch something Jane Kowski said, and I would be like, ah! you know? And then like some people throughout the theater would like catch it, but I was like, did y'all hear that? You know, like they're kind of like planted in certain areas. So I get what you're saying. Yeah. You have to feel out the audience.
Feeling out the audience has just been so much fun. And then the reception, like at the stage door, like hearing people's reactions to it. And we get a lot of like gasps, a lot of like audible, you know, things when like shocking things happen.
Oh, I know.
Which is just fun. It's just been really like a joy to have the reaction that we've had from the audience. Yeah.
And how has that felt since you're so used to doing work on a set? Did you have a live audience typically, or?
We didn't have a live audience on Dog with a Blog, but I did other guest star spots where we had live audiences.
So you're somewhat familiar with it.
Yeah, I am. It actually was like, it was very easy to adapt to because I was like, oh, this is really similar to a live audience with, you know, laughing and kind of like recognizing those beats. And pieces of this do almost feel a little like sitcom-y, especially like that opening scene.
Yes. Yeah.
So it feels a little familiar in that sense.
Okay, totally. And then so when you know, get the roller coaster going at the very beginning, what kind of work did you and Jane Kowski do to be like, let's we have a scene, the opening scene, to get everybody in the audience on the same page? What sort of like work did y'all do?
Yeah.
To really harness that.
I mean, one of the things that Robert did really early on in rehearsals, which was great, was he had us do these one-on-one like speed dates to get us all really close as a cast.
That's cool.
And just like be a tight-knit unit.
Yeah.
And so it was just really nice talking one-on-one. We actually didn't really talk about the character or about the scene, but it was more just like to get to know each other on a personal level.
That's cool.
And I think having that sort of connection and chemistry established makes it way more believable. I think that, you know, 100%. It feels real because I feel close with Jane and I know she feels close with me too. So I think that element was really helpful. And I mean, just getting to work with her is like a masterclass in comedy and acting and everything. So I mean, it's just,
I can't imagine.
It's so fun to like play against her. And it's a blast.
She is such a queen. What sort of behind the scenes stories can you tell us of working in rehearsals with this cast, or like if anything's ever gone awry on stage with a live audience?
Something that went awry recently, just for me personally, was that last scene on the balcony. I forgot my phone, which you know that's important. Like a moment, very important prop. And so I got up there and I was just like looking around as look at the stars and the eclipse.
I can see that works. And you like took the moment. Were you like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit?
Yes, or I was like, oh shit, because I was walking up the stairs and I could feel that my phone was not in my pocket, and I was like, all right, well, that's live theater for you, which makes it fun. Honestly, not fun to make mistakes like that, but
yeah.
You never know what's going to happen.
That's the beauty of live theater, and that's why we like it. Did anything go crazy like a riot tonight? I didn't see anything.
Tonight? Oh, Constance didn't have her ring on. She was just saying she didn't have her. Which, you know,
at
like,
the end,
she's supposed to be like, when Frank's like, oh, did you get the ring? And she's like, yeah, I have it on right now. Which, just little things like that.
You'd never notice.
You'd never know.
I mean, like a ring, it's tiny.
Right.
Yeah.
And there's a lot going on the stage to distract from any little mishap.
Easily.
A lot happening all at once. Yeah.
Okay, what about with the cast? What's the vibe in the dressing room? Are y'all like cutting up? Who's the class clown? Like, tell us, I need to know. I want to be a fly on the wall, please.
Yeah, so, I'm in a dressing room with Constance and then our understudies, and everyone's just so wonderful. I think we have the best dressing room.
I'm sure you do.
You can ask everybody else what they think, but
I'm sure you do.
We have fun. We just like play music and get ready together. But everyone's a joy, and also everyone is very funny, and so everyone is the class clown, I think, on this set. Neil is always right before I go on for that opening scene. Neil is going up the stairs and he's always twerking, or he's doing some sort of pre-entrance dance. And that's enjoyable every night to look forward to. Yeah.
I knew that there had to be something. That is awesome. So were you familiar with like Jane Kowski's work before? Were you a 30 Rock watcher?
Yes.
Or okay.
Yes.
Just love. Absolutely love.
Brilliant.
What is it? Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt?
I haven't seen that, but apparently she has a great character. Need to watch that. But yeah, and then obviously her like legacy in theater is amazing.
So long. Which we'll get to in our game that is to come, because Ship Me Fan is based off of a game. So I thought we had to make our own not quite so risky game. For sure.
Yeah, would you play that game if that was if you were at a party?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
I mean,
You got nothing to hide.
I don't have any skeletons in my closet. I don't. Like, I don't. I'm not the. I was like, why? I don't know if I know people who are this layered in so many dark, twisted ways. But that's like the beauty of the show. You don't know until everybody's got all their cards on the table. Would you play the game?
Absolutely. I love a game, so I'm in for any game. Yeah.
Maybe we should go ahead and play our game now then. Okay, so our game, are you ready?
Okay.
It is ship. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, it'll be good. The game is Ship Meet Fan cast of characters. So I'm going to quiz you, not hard, on this cast of characters and what they have been in on and off Broadway.
Okay, great. Are you going to give me
How do you
options?
feel? Yes.
Okay, great.
A, B, and
Good.
C.
Then wonderful.
Okay.
This is like
you
Billy
feel
on
good?
the Street. Yeah.
I love Billy on the Street. Okay, shout out Billy Eichner. You should come on From the Mezzanine too with me and Genevieve. It'd be a good time. Okay. Who starred in Hedwig on Broadway? Tremel Tillman, Neil Patrick Harris, or Garrett Dillahunt?
Neil Patrick Harris.
Yes, easy. Okay, starting off strong. Who was in Starlight Express on Broadway?
Jane Kowski.
Yes, okay, we don't even need the options. I knew. See, I knew you know. Okay, I love it. Okay. Who was in Company on Broadway? Neil Patrick Harris, Debra Messing, or Jane Krakowski? Company.
Deborah?
No, Jane
Who?
Krakowski.
Okay.
I wasn't familiar either.
All right.
Her Playbill resume is literally like pages long.
It's too long.
What hasn't she been in? Anytime you see Jane Krakowski, you should just pick her.
I know, actually.
And honestly, Neil, too.
That's a good strategy for this game. Okay.
Okay, who was in The Great Society on Broadway? Michael Oberholtzer, Tremel Tillman, or Garrett Dillahunt? The Great Society on Broadway.
Let's go with, I actually have no clue, so let's go with Tremel.
Yes.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Oh, nice.
You knew
that
in
was
the
just
recesses.
A complete guess, actually. Okay,
you
great.
totally knew.
Great.
Okay, who was in Little Shop of Horrors off Broadway?
Oh, Constance.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Who is, I'm like, don't even give you the options for the ones I'm like, I know, you got it. Okay. Who was in Birthday Candles on Broadway? Garrett Dillahunt, Debra Messing, or Jane Krakowski?
Let's go with Jane, because, right?
Debra Messing.
This is the one. This is one thing she's not in.
I totally steered you wrong there. Who was in The Father on Broadway? Tremel, Garrett Dillahunt, or Neil Patrick Harris?
Garrett? I haven't said him yet.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
You got it.
Perfect.
You got it. Who was in Take Me Out on Broadway? Michael Oberholtzer. That is right.
Michael.
Iconic. Did you see that show?
No.
Oh, I heard such good things.
I also heard amazing things.
I wish.
He's an incredible talent. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Who was in Cabaret on Broadway? Tremel Tillman, Neil Patrick Harris, or Constance Wu?
Wait, was Neil in Cabaret?
He was.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay, I feel like I should know that. That's iconic, right?
Iconic.
Incredible. Okay.
Yeah. You got it. That's it.
Yay.
That's our game.
What do I win?
How about this
You've got
really
a game
cool
with no prize,
playbill?
you guys? What kind of show you running here?
To the show that you are in. This is
God.
for you.
Thank you.
There you go.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you for playing.
Wow, that was a good one. I feel like I actually learned things in that
And
game.
now you can go back there and be like, Neil Patrick
I know
Harris,
your guy's
you were
whole
in
resume.
Cabaret?
Right.
Amazing.
I actually do need to ask him about that. That's very cool.
Yeah, very, very cool. So you said this is your first theatrical performance. You weren't doing theater when you were younger?
I actually did a play at the
Let's hear it.
Children's Theater of Maine.
Oh,
Okay. When I was
big time.
7, so the big leagues.
Yeah, seriously.
I don't want to like
7?
brag or anything, but yes.
And it was a play. It wasn't a musical.
Yeah, I was Madeline.
Oh, like the schoolgirl?
Yes.
Cute.
Yes. So I did that, and that was my foray into the theater world.
So you started so young. And did your family see you and they were like, oh, we have a prodigy on our hands?
I just loved it. Like I remember doing that play. Well, actually what happened was I did a play before that where I had a small part. I think it was Tales of a Fourth Grade Nothing. And then I like had such a small part and I wanted to star in something next. So I went up to the woman at the thing and I was like, I want to be the star of the next play. Can I be the star? So I just like loved it. And yeah, and then since then I have not done a play.
Wow.
So from the Children's Theater to MCC.
I mean,
There you
because
go.
you quickly after that you went to LA and lived there.
Yep.
And broke into the Disney scene.
Yes.
How was all of that?
Went out to LA for just like 3 months back when pilot season was a thing.
Okay, yeah.
That doesn't exist anymore really. But go out for pilot season and you audition for all of the shows. It's usually like within a 3-month period. And that was 2008, like during like the writers' strike. So it was not a good time to be out there, but I still like got really lucky and I started booking stuff. And then so we just stayed.
Wow. Yeah.
So I did a show with Bob Saget called Surviving Suburbia,
Yes.
like really early on. And so we just stayed, and then a Disney casting director saw me in a commercial that I did
Wow.
and called my mom and like my agent at the
Oh my
time.
God, you were such a
And then
cutie
I went in.
pie.
So yeah, that's how it happened. But yeah.
Incredible. And the Disney years. Tell us a little bit about that, because you are quite literally living all of our dreams. I was way too old watching Shake It Up, and I was writing in my diary. I was like, I am supposed to be Cece.
Yes.
So how was it living literally all of our dreams?
No, it was also my dream too. I was like so excited to be on Disney Channel, because that was like the golden years of Disney Channel. Like I grew up watching Hannah Montana.
Yeah.
So I was just like, I want to be Hannah Montana.
Yeah.
And so yeah, to be able to work for that network at that time was just so fun.
Was it?
It really was fun, and I had a wonderful experience.
Amazing.
And got to work with some amazing people, and it was just such a great like education, you know, to be young and like working like that. So yeah, I made some amazing friends, and I got to do some, you know, I love when people come up to me and they're like, I grew up watching you. Like that's just so wonderful to be a part of people's like childhoods like that.
That's beautiful.
So it was a great experience.
Yeah, that's incredible. And I have to ask you this question.
Yes.
They're doing so many Disney Channel reboots these days. We have Wizards of Waverly Place coming. Right. Is anything in the works for Dog with a Blog? Anything? Is the dog coming back? Are you coming back? What is going on?
I don't know. I mean, I guess anything is possible.
Yeah.
But I feel like it would need to be off the air a little bit longer.
Yeah,
it's
that's
like Wizards of Waverly
so
Place, like
soon.
that. It's a little too. They don't want to see us just yet.
But it's happening, like
it is
everywhere
happening.
With Raven's Home.
The
it's
reboots.
all popping back up.
I feel like our generation just has that like nostalgia for those times, like growing up and like Disney Channel being in its like golden era, and like you go home from school and you like turn it on,
so
and so I think like that nostalgia really is driving all the reboots, which I think is great. Like.
When you were on Disney Channel, would you go home and turn on Disney Channel?
I did because I was that age.
Yeah,
like,
you
I
were.
Really was. So I was watching the shows that I was like ended up guest starring on and stuff. But
yeah, you were on Hannah Montana. No,
I was on Hannah Montana.
Good Luck, Charlie.
And Good Luck, Charlie, and Sunny with a Chance was at that time too. There was so many.
Girl,
but,
that's crazy.
Yeah. So I really was, because you know, you're a kid doing these shows. So it was like a total dream come true. Yeah.
That is so cool. But now we're out here in New York. How are you enjoying New York?
I love it. I'm going to have a hard time leaving if I ever leave. It's just the kind of city that just like sucks you in.
It totally does.
And all my friends are here now, so I have a great community. And to have experiences like this is, I think, what makes New York so special.
Yeah, truly.
To be having like these incredible actors and this incredible play at this Off-Broadway theater, I just think is what makes New York
it's
so wonderful,
so special.
Magical. Yeah, there's always exciting things going on and talented people doing amazing work. So 100%. I love being here because I feel like inspired.
And this feels like a natural next step for you as well, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I think that I wanted to do something that was challenging and something that was different than what I'd been doing. So I just want to continue doing that. Hopefully, if I'm lucky enough to keep challenging myself and having these amazing learning experiences, because this has been a crash course in theater. I didn't study theater in college, so this is my crash course. Yeah.
What did you study?
I got a liberal arts degree, so it was just sort of like a general.
Yes.
But I didn't focus in acting or anything because I'd been acting for so long. I just wanted to like
learn a little something
things.
else. I think that's so wise. I hear that from quite a few of the actors that I speak to. They're like, don't just learn acting.
Right.
Really diversify, especially when you're in college. Yeah. Because it can help you hone the characters you're going to be playing in the future.
Right.
Do you have any advice for young actors or actors of our age who want to be doing what you're doing and find the success that you found?
I would say my number one piece of advice that I always tell people is just like, don't give up and don't stop, because being an actor is so hard because there's a lot of rejection and you get a lot of no's before you get a yes. And so my advice is, I think the people that make it are just the people that don't stop doing it.
Yeah.
So if you really love it, just keep doing it. And eventually you're going to like get that job or get that open door. I think the only people that fail are the people that quit.
Yeah.
So that would be my advice. Just like keep going, even though it's hard. Yeah.
That's beautiful. Write that down, you guys. It's a good note.
I don't know. I don't have any advice. I'm not that wise, but that's
you
wonderful.
have, like, I feel like you probably, like, you are young, but you probably have the knowledge and the wiseness of somebody much older than you because you've been in the industry for so long. I'm sure you've.
It's funny because I feel like I have no clue what I'm doing.
Seriously?
So that's very nice. Yeah, I
think that's
have
how we
no
all
fucking
feel.
clue. Yeah, right? I mean, are we similar age? How old are you?
I'm 26.
Okay, yeah, I'm 25.
Yeah.
Like, we don't know what the is going on or
No.
what we're doing. What?
But you've been out here, girly. Like,
I'm just you keep
hitting the
putting a foot
pavement
in front of the other, and then you know, figure it out.
And then you
way.
find yourself on a stage next to Jane Kowski, who is being your mom, and Neil Patrick Harris, who is your father. Like,
yeah, that's pretty good.
Incredible. Okay, let's round out with some rapid fire questions, shall we?
Okay.
And I don't know if you're really like a Broadway nerd.
You know what?
Fan?
I'm probably going to disappoint you by saying that I am not.
No, this is okay.
My Broadway knowledge is minimal. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll do what we can here.
Okay.
Ready, Freddie? Okay. What is your favorite line in Ship Meet Fan? It's like I knew I had this question planned. And when I was watching, I was like, what is she going to say? There are so many good one-liners.
Can I do two?
Of course.
Okay. I love when Debra goes, but addictive.
Yeah. Genius delivery.
That one. And then oh God, there's just literally so many good ones. I love, well, it's not just one line, but Garrett's entire speech about Filipinos on the balcony.
Crazy.
The Filipino dropped his finger. That whole thing, it gets me every time. It's never stopped being funny. So.
I'm pretty sure Constance broke.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want to accuse her.
No,
of breaking.
she will own up to that. Yeah.
Is there somebody who breaks the most?
Yes, Constance.
Okay. Checks
out. Every time Garrett does his thing on the couch midway through the play, it's just like, because he's so funny.
He's so funny.
What's on here? Sorry.
It's fine. What is your favorite line that you say?
Oh, my favorite line. It actually. What's your favorite line? Do you have?
Oh my gosh, I don't think I would have to see it like one more time at least. Because wow, but addictive was amazing.
Yeah, that gets me.
I just loved you arguing with Jane.
I love arguing with Jane. It's fun. It's playful. It was
fabulous.
We have a good time.
Okay, love. Who is your favorite co-star to hang out with?
I would say Constance because we do share a dressing room. So
lots of time. I love that. If you could play one other character for one night only, who would it be?
Jane.
Yeah,
Jane's character.
Jane Krakowski.
It's great. It's fabulous.
She got a lot going on.
Yeah. It's very layered. Yeah.
Okay, what is your favorite musical or play of all time?
Ooh. Well, you know what? I love cabaret.
Yeah.
And well, something that I've seen recently that I loved so much was Stereophonic.
Yes, I saw
that. That was one of my favorite recents. Yeah.
Incredible and very popular as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Now you say you're not a Broadway girly, but like, please tell me, are you belting a Broadway song in the shower?
I'm not. I'm not like a huge musical theater.
Okay.
Person.
I see you.
Oh, I loved Wicked though. That's one of the like.
She's one of us.
I'm excited for that movie to come out. I saw Wicked a couple times. So if it is the right musical, I love it. Yeah. And that whole soundtrack for Wicked like is one of my favorites.
I'm so excited.
That actually is something that I would play. Yeah.
That you would play?
Like. And then sing it in the shower.
I thought you meant like be in.
Oh God. Well, and that, yeah. Well, I don't know if I have the pipes for that, but that would be fun.
I'm like, Glinda, call her.
Call me.
Okay. If you were to be in a show, a theatrical show, who would your dream co-star be?
My dream co-star in a play. Oh, you know who I love is Emma Stone, and she did cabaret. I know she said, I think she was like, I'm not gonna do theater again because it was so difficult.
Yeah. But that
God,
would be incredible.
I love her, and she's so funny.
Yeah. Do you have a dream role?
I don't know. I'll do anything.
Yeah.
I just want to be working. So
Amen.
whatever they call me in for, I'm there.
I love that. Good answer. What was the first show you ever did? I think you clued us in.
The first show, like a TV show?
No. What was the theater? What was the show?
The Children's Theater of Maine. I did Madeline.
There it is. Okay. And lastly, what will you miss most about Ship Meet Fan?
Oh, I will miss the amazing cast and also crew, like the whole backstage crew running the show. they're all amazing, and we've just all become so close. So I'm gonna miss that family unit that we've created over the last couple months.
Oh,
yeah.
Now you get it. That's like the hardest part of theater.
It's
you
so
make
hard.
such great friendships.
Yeah. But I think they'll be lasting, which is nice.
They certainly will be, and the audience will be missing this show too. So we'll be all in the same boat.
Yeah.
I love this show, you guys. Come and see it at the MCC Theater. Come see the Queen, Genevieve Hannelius, as Sam, just absolutely eating it up and arguing with her incredible mother, Jane Kowski. And thank you so much for coming on From the Mezzanine.
Thank you so much. This was so fun.
Yeah, it was fabulous. Thanks. Okay, bye.
Bye.
Wasn't that just fabulous? I loved it. I loved speaking with her. It gave me a lot of insight to what my life could have been like if my mom flew me out to LA when I was 6, like I was begging her to do. But she didn't do that, and now I'm here on a podcast with all of you. So much better. Let's get into our Broadway Grosses. This is for the week ending on November 3rd. Oh my God, we're already in November. Numero uno, we have Wicked with over $2 million for the week. The Lion King is 2 with under $2 million. There's actually a pretty big gap between our 1 and 2, which, just goes to show Wicked is making them big bucks before the movie comes. And it really makes you think, like, if Hamilton did a huge movie with huge actors, if it would go number 1, because right now, Hamilton is number 3. Sunset Boulevard is number 4, you guys. Now, since we missed Broadway Grosses last week, we are finally seeing the results of their reviews. Post-opening night, Sunset Boulevard, baby, it is the new cabaret. It is killing it. I'm happy for Sunset Boulevard, and I hope it stays this way. Well, do I? Because I really would like a ticket. I do. I think it's an amazing production. Is it going to sweep? I don't know. I haven't seen it yet, so let's move on. Hell's Kitchen is number 5. MJ is 6. The Outsiders is 7. So MJ and The Outsiders, usually The Outsiders has been beating MJ out, but now The Outsiders is bumped down. But it's all good. It is all good. It was really a high grossing week this week on Broadway. McNeil is number 8, Aladdin is 9, and Oh Mary is 10. I'm going to go a little further just so we can see what's peeking through the top 10. Great Gatsby is 11, but get this, you guys. They actually, in all the top 10, they have a way lower capacity than anything else. They have 80% capacity. That is not great. Below them is Cabaret at the Kit Kat Club, which had an 86% capacity for the week. And just in case you're unfamiliar, a capacity means that it is how many seats are filled in the theater. So let's do a little comparison. Outsiders had 100.89% capacity for last week. And that 0.89%, I used to have no idea what that was coming from. It's coming from the standing room. So that's where they're getting a little bit more hiked up. Whereas the Great Gatsby, I don't think they have standing room. I don't know why they would. It's a humongous theater. But yeah, they have 80% capacity. So that means overall for the week, 20% of their seats. Yes, 20%. I was like, wait, is my math wrong? Oh my God, I'm losing it. 20% of their seats are not filled, which it's not like terrible, but it's honestly not great. If we sorted these on capacity, let's see how different our grosses would be just as a little experiment. Okay, this is actually interesting. Let's run through the top 10 if we rated only on capacity, which I've seen y'all make your remarks. You're like, girly, I think maybe you should start doing it on capacity because that gives you more insight as to how the shows are doing, which I don't know. I'd like to know what's making the most money, but I see what you're saying. So maybe every once in a while we'll look at capacity. And also note, I'm not singing while I'm announcing, although I didn't hear any backlash for that. So number 1 in terms of capacity is Romeo and Juliet with over 102%. The Outsiders is number 2. McNeil is number 3. Oh Mary is number 4. Wicked is 5. The Lion King is 6. Death Becomes Her is 7. Hamilton is 8. Sunset Boulevard is 9. Hell's Kitchen is 10. And then right below that is Suffs. So that is so freaking different. Like things I didn't say that were in our first top 10 are Aladdin, MJ. Is that it? So yeah, that totally makes a pretty big difference. I am surprised. And I just realized something I forgot to tell you guys, but you know what? I think we'll talk about it in 2 weeks because I'm seeing the show again, but I saw Maybe Happy Ending and I cannot believe I forgot to talk about it because it is the most memorable show I've seen. I freaking loved it. And you should definitely go and see Maybe Happy Ending. I am obsessed. And I was reminded because it's not doing very well in the grosses, but as Bryn mentioned, they are doing a lot of incentives to get their previews filled right now, such as like Rush, student tickets, etc. But where are they on this list? So actually right now they're grossing the least. Holy. Oh my God. Do y'all hear my heart breaking? Can y'all hear that through the podcast? They had 8 performances last week and they are grossing the least. Turn out for this show. It is so freaking good. I loved it. I loved everything about it. I cried. If you have seen it, there's this moment that I will not give away, where it is the most genuine moment in the world, and the writing, the script writing of that line that broke me, impeccable. Okay, you guys, that is enough Broadway grosses for this week. Let's head on into our Broadway news, shall we? So, first news story, and the one we need to talk about at length. Jeremy Jordan. Let me try to get this out in one go. Jeremy Jordan is leaving The Great Gatsby. One more time for the people in the back. Jeremy Jordan is leaving The Great Gatsby. I don't know how I feel about it. I'm really sad. And honestly, I haven't processed it. I love Jeremy Jordan. I love him in this role. I truly don't believe anybody could replace him. I don't think that they will replace him with a celebrity. I think if he leaves, the grosses will tank and Great Gatsby might leave. Yeah. I did see that Ryan McCartan, who I love from Heathers, was singing on TikTok the Daisy, you find and you something. And I commented, is this a hint? Because I could see him being the next Gatsby and I would go to that. I need another hot Broadway man in the role of Gatsby and I need it. Like I need air. And I'm not happy about Jeremy Jordan leaving, but let's talk about the facts of the matter. So he will be departing from the production on January 19th. And after the news broke, he posted to his Instagram story and said, I am sure you will all know why very soon. ... Which led many of you to flock to my DMs, as you should. It is a safe space for us Jeremy Jordan stans, and say, I think he's going to do this. And I heard some varying things. So what I heard was he might be joining the cast of Smash, which, as we all know, he was in Smash. He sang my very favorite song, Broadway, Here I Come, Broadway, Broadway. I started that in the oddest key. Anyways, wow. Smash, he might join Smash because they're saying that there is one role that is still not filled. Do I think he should do that? Kind of no, because I don't think Smash is going to be a Smash. I don't know yet, you guys. For some reason, I just don't think it's going to do well. It's a gut feeling. I've been saying I feel like I should be a producer because I have pretty good gut feelings. And I don't think him being in it would help it too much. It would help me to go see it, but I don't know if it would help a lot of the general public, the tourists, to go frequent Smash on Broadway. Next, people say Greatest Showman. Now that is amazing, but it's going to be a really long time until Greatest Showman arrives on Broadway. So it feels early, but I wouldn't be surprised if they announced the Off-Broadway. I wouldn't be surprised. Honestly, I think they're making it sound like it's far out, but I wouldn't be surprised if the machine was already working at exhaustion to get it to Broadway. So that, because there's been a lot of talk about Aladdin leaving Broadway, so maybe that'll replace it. I don't know, but I could totally see Jeremy Jordan, I almost said Josh Gad, yes. Jeremy Jordan leading The Greatest Showman as Hugh Jackman I could totally see that. So that's another one. And then Bryn brought up perhaps he's going to be in Schmigadoon, which is over at the Kennedy Center. Now, that's an interesting take. However, he wasn't in the Schmigadoon show, and I don't think somebody would leave a Broadway show to go do Kennedy Center for like just a few short weeks. So I feel like I can rule that out, but it is a possibility, I guess. And then I think Smash is super likely since he already knows the team behind it. And he probably has some sentimental pull and like wanting to be in it. But for me, out of those options, The Greatest Showman is the most attractive and exciting option for me. Not happy though about him leaving The Great Gatsby. I just really can't talk about it. Anyways, another piece of news that we got this week though is that The Great Gatsby is going to be opening in London in 2025. So all we know is that previews will begin April 11th, 2025. Oh my God, you guys. Live, I just thought this read, oh my gosh. Okay, Playbill, your article is confusing me. It said the Broadway cast is led by Jeremy Jordan as Jay Gatsby and Eva Noblezada as Daisy Buchanan. I thought that was saying like they are going over to the West End. I was like, oh my God, they're just swapping. That's perfect. I'm fine. I'll go to London. Like I've been wanting to go to London anyways. Okay, but that is not what that is saying. Casting is still to be announced. It's going to be debuting at the West End's London Coliseum. My West End listeners, you are few but mighty. Is that a great place for it to debut? Please let me know. I don't know if this will do good. I don't know enough about the West End's Broadway culture. I do know, however, things that flop in America tend to do really well on the West End. And this is definitely a kitschy show, so I could see it doing well over in the West End. That's not to say that it's flopping over here. I don't think it is, especially if they cast somebody amazing in it after Jeremy leaves. But if they do, then unfortunately they might not recoup with their Broadway run. But it's just interesting to note that, yay, the Great Gatsby has life. And hopefully Jeremy Jordan announces what he's doing very, very soon. And I will let y'all know what it is on From the Mezzanine. Our last news story for the week is that we know who is going to be performing at the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. And you guys, if you know me, you know I love the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. I will not be there this year. I'm flying back home for Thanksgiving this year. Very, very happy about that. Happy to be home and actually have a real Thanksgiving meal because I have gone to the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. I went last year and then not the next year, but the year before. So I've been 2 times and I love it. I would totally recommend doing it. There's no way to view the because the Broadway performers, they perform on 34th Street and there's no way to get access to that as like an onlooker. But I always enjoy just watching the parade itself. Last year, we were positioned right in front of where Josh Gad and Andrew Rannells were doing their corresponding work. And so we shouted out to them, we were like, "Go Tentberg!" And Josh Gad just cackled. It was so funny. It was the best. So yeah, this year, here is who we have performing at the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. And I'm going to be honest, it feels really, really light. So in terms of Broadway shows, we only have The Outsiders, Hell's Kitchen, and Death Becomes Her. Obviously, I cannot wait for The Outsiders performance. I am going to be turkey leg in my mouth watching that with excitement. I am so excited. I love a TV performance. I really do. I don't know why. They're just fun and exciting, especially at the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. And I think this is a good assortment, but I think I need to look at the list of Broadway shows and be like, wait, where is this? Okay, so we all know that the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, I actually back in the very beginnings of From the Mezzanine, I did a deep dive on the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. It was really interesting to learn. And we all know that this is a huge publicity opportunity for these Broadway shows, which leads me to be like, why are there only 3? Are they cutting back viewing time on 34th where they have that stage? Because in previous years, y'all, it has been 5 or 6 productions. So the fact that it's only 3 Broadway productions is certainly light. I think that they have Riverdance, which is Irish dancers that are going to be in it this year, but that's not a Broadway production. So I just am wait, why aren't more people taking advantage of this opportunity? And also, okay. The biggest what in the world to me is that Wicked is not performing, because this is right around when the movie is going to be released, which, by the way, y'all, I'm seeing it on November 21st. So excited. Why wouldn't they have Wicked perform? It just seems like the most opportunity to put it in front of so many people's faces. I'm sure it's going to be in every single commercial, but why wouldn't they have the witches on Broadway sing a song? Is it like the Disney thing where Disney only wants you to see the cartoon characters performing the song? They don't want you to associate some random girl or like Idina Menzel herself with like on a children's show. That could be it. Could be it. Like you see these other witches and you're like, wait, mommy, that's not Ariana Grande. I don't know. That seems weird to me that it's not being featured. It makes sense that Sunset Boulevard isn't being featured because it's so dark, even though it's iconic. What else? Like Death Becomes Her feels a little random to me, but good for them. Okay. Looking at this, there's nothing else that's really standing out to me that is a shock. The only like new ones that would have had a chance are like Swept Away, Tammy Faye, or maybe Happy Ending. And right now it's so early for these shows. They might have not been able to like audition to be in the parade. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's it. But it's sad because like typically like Stuffs would have performed, but they're closing. So yeah. Okay. I guess maybe those are just like the only options, but you would think that Wicked totally would have been in that. But aside from these Broadway productions that are getting their time on screen, we also are getting some Broadway icons who are going to, I'm guessing, be on either floats or presenters, what have you. So other Broadway adjacent people who will be at the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade are Lea Salonga. This girl, I feel like she is one of those ones that we're like, she is always working. She's at every single event. Idina Menzel also, which there's been some tea going around lately about how Kristen Chenoweth has been in a ton of the press for Wicked, and I haven't seen Idina in anything. So I'm going to keep my eyes peeled for that, you guys. And let me know if you see anything. Ariana Madix, who is in Chicago, will be at the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. Charli D'Amelio will be there, and Jonathan Bennett, who was in Mean Girls the movie and Spamalot on Broadway. So very excited nonetheless. If Outsiders wasn't on this list, I would be picketing the parade. But of course they are, as they should be. Excited for our friends over at the Outsiders to have this awesome, fun time on TV. Love that for them. Well, you guys, that wraps up this amazingly full episode of From the Mezzanine. Thank you so much for listening. I am over the moon excited for next week's interview. It is going to be a full interview ep, and believe me when I say you will be so happy about that. This person is so funny, and it was crazy because I would be sitting there talking to them and I would just be so wrapped up in their like stories and their conversation and their personality, just watching them. And then I'd be like, oh, and how did that make you feel? Like, I would just be so wrapped up because they were amazing and I loved meeting them. And I'm so excited to share the interview with you guys next week, next Tuesday. And right after this, if you are a Broadway bestie over on the Patreon, you can meet me at the Stage Door, which is our after podcast chat that we do every week. Over on Meet Me at the Stage Door, I also do FTM story times, which can be about anything. I talked about my New York move. Most recently, I spilled some tea about a situation that happened behind the scenes at From the Mezzanine that has never been heard before. And when you sign up for Patreon, you get access to every single video I have ever uploaded. And right now, it's a lot. So it's a great time to become a Broadway bestie over on the Patreon. Right now, the price is $5.99 a month. You guys, they're tacking on some fees that they didn't have before, so I will not be surprised if those prices raise soon. So just want to put that out there. It's a great time to become a Broadway bestie. You can follow me on Instagram and TikTok at FromTheMezzanine_podcast. And that's all I got for you guys. Please leave a rate and review wherever you are listening right now. Oh, let me pull up my most recent review because it was truly the kindest. And thank you so much for just bringing me joy and putting a smile on my face. When y'all leave these reviews, I am reminded that people actually listen to this attentively, which like, I just come on here and yap. And then whenever I see a review, I feel so seen in such a good way, but I'm also like, oh, wait, people are listening? Okay, here it is. This is coming from Soph. Shout out, Soph. Thank you for leaving me a review. She says, FTM is the best. I absolutely love From the Mezzanine. I have been looking for a clean Broadway podcast to listen to where I can obsess over all things Broadway. And this podcast fits the bill perfectly. Every Tuesday, I get so excited to listen to whatever Lindsay has planned for the day. Aww. And I actually loved hearing all the nitty-gritty details of my favorite shows. Before listening to the podcast, I had no idea that the Broadway Grosses, cha-ching! Oh my God, impacted the show so much. And it has been fascinating learning so much more about the community that I love so much. I started listening when I saw that Lindsay talked about The Outsiders, but I loved the whole thing so much that I haven't missed a week since. Thank you so, my heart, you guys. It's too much for me to bear. Thank you so much for leaving that review. Wherever you are listening right now, specifically on Apple Podcasts, you can leave me a quick review, and you do not have to be that eloquent. You don't just be like, hey girl, amazing stuff. And on Spotify, you can leave me a review as well. It's super easy there. You just click the stars. So thank you guys so much for listening. And I had so much fun with y'all this week, and I'll see you next Tuesday. Bye.